How would you like to be able to attract more wealth, more love, more health, and manifest anything you desire for yourself and your family? Now, when you want that, what you may not think about is that a lot of what you want comes from you becoming a source for giving in the world. And today we have Amy Lisek, and she'll be talking about the power of kindness, the power of giving, and the power of having God in your life, and how all of that can help you to attract more of what you want and manifesting what you desire in your life. And the first question I have is, what is the secret to your success? And does being a giving person have anything to do with that?
Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu. Mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Lily, for having me. It's such an honor to be here today. So my secret to success comes down to just 4 words: hard work, God first. So I believe when you truly put God first in your life, things tend to fall into place. And now that doesn't mean that everything's always going to be easy. In fact, I believe strongly in hard work. I founded a nonprofit in 2020 during the height of the COVID pandemic. As you can imagine, that was hard enough as it was. On top of that, I was working full time and we were raising a family. We have 3 small, beautiful children. And so, the day-to-day of, working a 9-to-5 job, I was at the time working very hard at my day job. So hard that, I was promoted twice in a very short span of time. And then we had small children that we're focusing on raising. As you can imagine, none of that was easy. At times it was very hard, in fact. But the difference is that I believe when you put God first, things tend to fall into place. I'm not trying to do any of this in my own strength. So that's the difference, is that I put God first in my life, and God has been there all along my journey to help me, to give me the strength, to empower me, whatever it may be that the day brings, whether it's, founding a nonprofit during the COVID pandemic and trying to grow it from the ground up, while on top of doing all of those other things, working a day job that I loved as well, that I was very passionate about, or if it's raising a family, all of those things, it's all good. And it's all part of your day-to-day, everything on your plate. I've found, and I've noticed, when you try to do things in your own strength, sometimes you may fall short of the greatness that lies within you. So I believe, and I wrote this book about tapping into your God-given potential in order to fulfill God's plan for your life.
Wow, I love that. And actually, as you showed the book, and although I didn't see it because I'm looking at the camera, I didn't see it properly. But the minute you actually said it, I just felt like tingles, around my arms, because there's so much power in your faith. And I really believe that your faith can move mountains. And when you are a really kind person that helps the community and you give back, and sometimes you may not have actual money to give. Sometimes you have maybe resources. Sometimes you have, a sofa, or you can come up with a resourceful way to help the community. And it may not always be money. And of course, money is always useful to have, but a lot of times you can have, an introduction to someone useful. You can help someone get a job that will enable them to, support their family. And there's so many different ways that you can give. But of course, your mission is all about helping hundreds and thousands of people. So I want you to tell us more about how your foundation, how your Grace and Love Inc. is helping the community, and how can entrepreneurs benefit in a way from giving their help and their resources and their money to the communities around them?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So I believe that the energy of your intention does come back to you. So a lot of what I do share about in the book too is the importance of spreading kindness and planting those good seeds. There's a part in the book where I talk about my own journey and how during a time in my life when I was actually struggling, I was struggling every day to hold on to hope. And I was facing a lot of different difficult life situations at the time. And I was discouraged. I was having a hard time. I made it my mission to spread kindness. I actually knew and I had faith that if I had a pure intention and genuinely wanted to help others, and I put that out there, that in due time, it was like a seed that was going to produce fruit and a harvest in my life. And it absolutely happened. And so this was about a decade ago. Like I said, it was going through a lot. And I was struggling to hold on to hope. I decided, you know what, I'm going to go on a mission trip this year. And I actually went on a mission trip with my church at the time to Kenya. And I genuinely, my heart is to help others and to give back. So on that mission trip, I actually met one of my best friends, Colleen, who is now the secretary of my board at the Grace and Love Inc. nonprofit. She's now one of my best friends and the secretary of the board. And Colleen was such a light to me at the time. And she was such a blessing. I went on that mission trip and I met her. She became such a blessing in my life that she spoke encouragement over me. She prayed for me. She actually went so far as to write, she made me this book. I think it was for Christmas actually, but she made me this book of handwritten positive quotes and song lyrics and scripture. And she really just kept encouraging me. And of course, that was about 10 years ago. We're still best friends to this day. So I truly believe in that, the power of, I think it was Oprah actually that said, I heard her say, the energy of your intention comes back to you. So you're not doing good things just to get an award or good deeds. You genuinely do want to help others. And that's my mission. That's my purpose. That's my drive, is to spread hope and encouragement to people going through difficult times, because I was there. I've been there. And so I believe truly as an entrepreneur, when you are mission driven and purpose driven, that's the difference, is that nothing can really stop you.
Thank you. Now tell us the top 5 things that entrepreneurs can do in order to be more kind. Now, I want to share some of mine as well. Okay. And I find that it's really great that you went to a different country to help people. And I find that you can also do a lot of things in your local area and wherever you go, wherever you travel. So for example, every time you meet a new person, be fully present and be so kind to them and acknowledge them, like acknowledge their presence in terms of maybe not looking at your phone whilst you're having dinner. That's a really massive, massive thing you can do to be kind. Another thing is pay them a real, genuine compliment that really reflects how you truly feel about them and make them feel special. But it's not because you want something from them. You just do it because you're just admiring them and you just want to be kind. Another thing I would do is look at ways to accept people the way that they are. And sometimes it means trying to be in their world, to kind of like accept when they are feeling angry or sad or whatever about something, and not to take it so personally. Also, be a bit respectful about people choosing not to do business with you or whatever it is, and making mistakes. Because when you are accepting that people do make mistakes, and it's okay for them to sometimes make a mistake, and you don't have to be like so, awful about it. So for example, on this podcast, sometimes I have people who come a little bit late, or very, very occasionally, I have people who cancel at the last second. Now, I can tell you, I've been on other people's podcasts, and one time I was like in such an amazing conversation with someone on a different podcast, and I completely forgot I was supposed to be on someone else's podcast myself. So I was 12 minutes late. And by that time, that podcaster wrote me a message like, "Oh, you think you're too special to even notify, someone that you're not coming." And of course, it's not. I didn't believe that at all. I just like literally made such a stupid mistake, kind of getting too engrossed in that conversation. And when people come late on my podcast, for example, or when they don't come at all and they don't notify, and then maybe later they might say, "Oh, I missed because of this," or maybe they don't notify at all, and I just contact them, "Would you like to rebook?" There's so many levels of kindness you can have right there that you cannot possibly imagine, where you have some understanding for the fact that people, they could be stuck on a plane. They could be, I don't know, having an argument with their husband. They could be like in a car crash. I don't know, so many different things, God forbid, could be happening for that person. And you can just bring a bit of understanding to the table. So I'm wondering about your steps in terms of the power of kindness. And have you noticed anything positive happening in your life as a result? And I do want to say that a lot of times it's not necessarily from the same person.
Yeah, I completely agree, to what you're saying, and so many levels. First of all, like you mentioned that you don't have to go to another country to do an act of kindness. I 100%, I believe you should look for those opportunities every day. If God leads you to go and you feel called to go to another country, that's wonderful. But absolutely, like you said, Lily, there are so many opportunities in your backyard. There's some examples I list in the book as well, but say it's around the holidays. So there are so many people that don't have family and friends around the holidays. Like, can you go to a nursing home and sing Christmas songs to them? Can you, look for it, people with disabilities that maybe live in the community that don't have any family? Can you go volunteer at an organization that gives back at a children's hospital? Anywhere that you feel called and that maybe you're passionate about, and you feel in your heart led to go and help those, that type of person or a certain population, I say you should follow where God is leading you, because, it's my belief that God has made us. So if you have those passions and you have, that heart of going, maybe it's going to an animal shelter and helping animals, that's amazing. So whatever it may be, and in whatever capacity, there's a lot of different ways. So you said, 5 ways. So I would say that's the first thing, is that look for opportunities in your day-to-day and wherever you feel called to help at this time. And number 2, I completely agree with you. Just the small acts of kindness every day, whether it's a compliment or just being courteous, I think it goes a long way, more than people know. And this reminds me of an example that happened recently at a coffee shop with a barista. I got my coffee order. I'm a little addicted to coffee, I'm going to be honest. As a working mom, definitely tired a lot of most days. So I love my coffee. So I got my coffee, and just a simple act of asking the barista how she was doing. I just asked, that was it. How are you doing today? And it was like her face lit up. Genuinely, she was like, wow, no one's asked me that today. And it's just those small moments where you realize it does matter. No one's perfect, of course. There are some days where I might be very sleep deprived and I may not be as social, but I do feel like if you have that, like you said, presence, if you can slow down and just be present with someone and realize that you never know what someone may be going through. You truly don't. So it does make a big difference. There's those acts every day of kindness. Number 3, going back to, you never know what someone may be going through. I feel like looking for opportunities to build people up. I love coaches. I love mentors. I love encouraging positive people. That is the energy that I try to put into the world, mostly because I haven't always had that in my life. And I recognize the importance of it. Truly, there were seasons of my life where I didn't share a lot of the struggles that, we were going through. When we were trying to have our second child, for example, we were having a pretty hard time and struggling with that. And at the time, I didn't open up about that to many people, but I was emotionally really struggling, going to work, really not feeling upbeat. And so you never really know what someone's going through. And I'm a big mental health advocate because I have gone through a lot of mental health struggles in my life. So really focusing on those opportunities to build people up in even a greater way, whether you can, I've recently just started kind of mentoring someone in like a non-formal way. I have graceandlove.org is our website, and we offer a free blogging platform as a space where people it's completely free. They can post encouraging content to uplift one another, because again, I see the value in that. And I have a blogger named Sierra who's amazing. And again, it's one of those things where it's nothing I did in my own strength, but God completely connected us. When I, launched the website, she found me on social media, and she is a big supporter, and she posts encouraging blogs, sharing what she has gone through in order to help others. And recently, I'm so proud of her. She just decided to launch her own nonprofit. And I've never been so proud. And I know the struggle, though, at the same time, of how certain days can feel discouraging, in your journey to follow your dreams and to really follow it's like I said earlier, it's actually hard work, and it's not always easy. So it can sometimes feel discouraging. And so I've made it my mission in this, recently in this last month, to text her and, message her and build her up and try to, be more of a mentor figure in order to just like spread that, you got this, like you can do this, you're amazing kind of energy. Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Did you have another idea that you were going to say?
Well, you said share 5, so I was really trying to think of 5, but I feel like, everyone, like I said earlier, you're all called to do certain things. And I feel like I completely agreed what you said earlier too, the power of not having that critical attitude towards people, because I found too, where I've made it my mission, even so recently, again, I'm not perfect, but I'm really trying to make an effort more so to not gossip about people. I feel like in the day-to-day, I think there's a difference between venting and gossiping. And that's just something else where I've noticed I've really tried to be a little bit more kind in how I speak about other people.
Thank you. One thing that I find adds so much value to people's lives, okay, that my partner and I do, is like truly celebrating when someone got home. Okay. What I mean by that is that imagine, instead of you like opening the door and seeing your husband or your life partner or your children, instead of like, hi, how was your day? And like everything like low energy, it's a bit like, imagine you saw like your favorite character, the person you most love in the world, and you remember that about them. Okay. So much so that it's almost like, I don't know, it's like your favorite actor or the person you haven't seen in like 15 years. Imagine doing that every single time that you see that person, what impact it will have on you and what impact it will have on them. Now, the impact it will have on them is that they will feel ultra special, because instead of you like opening the door and just saying, hi, how are you? You will be like, hello, Jack, you're at home. Hi, I'm so excited that you are here. And now we're going to do something very special. Okay, and,
nice.
and yes, and then I do that with my partner Harry, just because we're both very playful, and you don't have to like do it like that, but I find that when you are very playful with your voice, but also celebrating the person you've just seen as if you haven't seen them in 20 years, really makes them feel so special. And because you made your husband, your life partner, your children, your mother, I don't know, whoever is there, because you made them feel so special in that moment, they will be doing something different today. They will be maybe happier when they prepare lunch for you and your children. But again, you don't do it for that. You do it because it adds value to them. You're not doing it because, like, oh, I should be really kind to my husband because he will be really kind to me. No, you're just doing it. First of all, you're doing it to have fun. And so it's like, I do that with everyone, but I do it because I genuinely celebrate their life while they're here.
I love that.
That brings, that's really implementing, the power of kindness to just uplift everyone around you with your presence. Now, coming back to the power of giving and the power of infinite giving and the infinite giving loop, what I have found is that you always have something to give. And it doesn't have to be money, but of course, around the Christmas, around holidays, people need that help. Like, they need actual money. They need actual help. They need a shelter. They need so many different things. And I wonder about, what did you notice was the impact in terms of that infinite giving loop, where you are really truly giving from your heart and not thinking about any return. You're not thinking about, what benefit you're going to have. You're just giving because it just makes you feel so good. And I find that you give because it makes you feel really good. And it could be anything. It could be advice. It could be shelter. It could be, I know, gifting someone something that they really wanted that they couldn't afford. I know there's so many different ways to give, but your foundation is all about, I assume, money, right? Is that like a monetary?
Well, thankfully, I like what you said about many ways to give, because we're a 501c3 nonprofit charity. So 1/3 of our funding needs to come from public sources. However, it can be a monetary gift on our website, on our support page. However, and that helps us cover, the majority helps us cover sending free, encouraging care packages to people. So like I said earlier, anyone can reach out at any time on our website, graceandlove.org, and whatever they may be going through, they can submit a request to receive a free care package shipped directly to them. So if you give a gift of a monetary donation, that helps us cover mostly the shipping, or if we need to purchase additional items for the care package. But we also accept those in-kind items. So, whether it's encouraging books or, little stickers with like mental health, like positive, uplifting messages on them. Whatever you feel called to give. We have many local friends that I'm so grateful have felt on their heart that, they want to drop off randomly large donations of in-kind items. And then that, you never know the impact that that's making, because I have a local friend, Jessica, she does it all the time. She's always so thoughtful and thinking of the nonprofit Grace and Love. So she'll just say, hey, left something on your porch, and these items that she'll just, want to give in order to bless someone, that's where her heart is. She's she just wants to give so that it can bless someone else. They've impacted so many different people. This year we've sent 200 care packages. Last year it was 100. So we're going up, hopefully, with more resources and funds, we can accommodate more requests. But you never know the impact that it has on someone when they receive something like that. Our motto is, let everything that you do be done in love. So even that small act of giving something, if someone is struggling to hold on to any hope at all, and they're having a really hard day, and all of a sudden they get this care package, and it's something from, a friend that's donated or someone that's donated these items that, whether it's faith-based, whether it's Christian items, or a lot of times someone will just ask for something with uplifting messages or books, personal development books, different things on their growth journey. We truly like to meet people where they're at and just meet them with kindness, meet them with love, and just let them know, hey, someone is praying for you. Someone cares about you. I think it goes a long way, especially, like I said, if someone doesn't have a lot of people like that in their life. I'm so sorry. I'm just coming back, to what you said earlier. How have you seen it come full circle? Well, I carry around and I put like thank you cards that I receive back from the people that receive the care packages. And this is how I stay on mission. And this is why, like I said earlier, I'm purpose driven, because this is everything. This is how it affected their day. And it's the wonderful work for many people in need across the country. So appreciative of the items sent. And it means a lot. It's, almost like a ripple effect where you truly never know how that small act of kindness affected not only their day, but I had someone message me that it made their entire year. So it really does, and it's not only that level of support of receiving a care package, but hopefully the continued support of they can follow along for encouragement on the blog. We have, like I said earlier, a free blog that they can, if they choose, they can post for free to encourage someone else. So it's kind of like that ripple effect where hopefully it keeps going. And I feel like it does, it makes a huge difference. And I've 100% experienced it, the blessings returned in my life. So and I'm nothing special. I like to say, I'm like anyone else, if I can go through such a hard season many years ago, which I do also share in my book, the first 24 years of my life were very hard. I was struggling. Didn't have much hope. I considered myself lost. If I can go through that and then apply these biblical principles to my life and apply the power of giving and planting good seeds and truly believe in the power of kindness and seeing the good fruits then come back, I truly believe that it can work in anyone's life. I like to say I'm no one special, but it's true. I think God's love and God's grace is for everyone. And the message that I share in this, this guidebook, it's not just for me. I truly believe that if you're on a faith journey, especially, I believe you can partner with God in the process to experience this transformational change in your life. It comes from the inside out. So you truly will grow as a person, and then you'll also see the fruits in your life as well.
Thank you. What I've noticed in the past from giving, and not necessarily always money, it could have been, like advice for your business, or a website that maybe doesn't cost as much, or a book that, is not so unaffordable. And sometimes a good word, like when you can truly make someone feel special, they will remember that. Because especially if you really mean it, like if you really encourage someone, and for example, I see potential in everyone. And a lot of times I see potential to a magnitude that they cannot possibly even imagine. Like I see them as their higher self. I see them as, potential realized. And I don't treat people like the way they see themselves now. I meet, concierges, or I know people that I meet at events and so on. And I'm seeing optimization in everyone. I'm seeing, the way they are going to be in a few years, and what's possible for them. And I'm so astounded by everyone's potential, because it makes me so excited to kind of like meet them, because I see them as kings and queens, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited to be in your presence because you're amazing. But I see this awesomeness that everyone has, and I think because I have this excitedness, this like of meeting new people, and I see their beauty, the beauty of their soul, and I give, again, not necessarily money, but my expertise, or a good word, or encouragement. And also I think even seeing them in that way and treating them as if they are kings and queens makes them realize of, what, I'm someone special, because otherwise people like Lily would never say that about myself,
Absolutely.
So there's that love that you kind of start to give to the world, and then you start to see it back. But how I find that you see it back in your life is not necessarily from that person that you helped coming back to you and saying, thank you, or you changed my life, or like anything like that. Yeah, it happens sometimes. But a lot of times it's not from there. A lot of times I find that you just sleep better at night because you just know that you genuinely helped people, or you genuinely noticed people, and you genuinely made people feel special, or you genuinely made people feel happy. And what I like to do, that it's a very small thing, but I think anybody can do this, is that I like to make people laugh. And although I have a sarcastic humor, not everyone understands my humor. But for example, if someone wears something really interesting, like a pair of glasses or a coat or something, I'll say, wow, you really dressed up for the part today. Or even if the weather is bad, I never say, oh, the weather is terrible today. It could be snowing. It could be like the wind is like blowing and I can't even move. And I would never say that. The reason I don't say it is because I find that words have so much power. And being kind and being giving, I think it's all about leveraging the power of your word in order to encourage other people. But of course, a lot can happen as well when you are able and willing to give and to support your work. I do see a lot of benefit in that. And the reason I do is because there are people that maybe are growing their businesses, or they're very tired, or they're very busy, and they don't have the time, or not necessarily the interest, but they don't have the time to kind of focus on what you're focusing on. And they want to support your work because through your work, you're impacting thousands of people. I would like to know what's included in the care package, and how does that make a difference to people's lives that you support?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So it typically may depend on our inventory at the time of the items. Like I said, we do receive in-kind donations. So I'm so grateful that we have longstanding partnerships with Our Daily Bread. They send a quarterly donation to us of devotionals, so that you can have more of a faith-based devotional to start your day. And then we have different partnerships where we've gotten donations from the Daily Grace Co., another organization. And then most recently, we have an upcoming fundraiser at Five Below. So that's really exciting. It's a local store that has just a variety of items that, like I said earlier, you can have an item where you'll have like a message on it, like say it's a water bottle and it says like, you got this, or something like that, where it's just uplifting. Or maybe it's a Christian devotional, like from Our Daily Bread. Or maybe it's just a hygiene item. I found that most of the requests that we receive are from women at this time. So I find that it goes a long way to send them up like different little spa items as well. So I would want to receive something where it's like, oh, wow, self-care. I feel like self-care is so important. So I can have a face mask, or I can have, different lotions, or just different items to also make me feel good. And just especially the requests that we receive sometimes are really tough. So knowing that they deserve that, they deserve the best. And I wish we had more, to be honest, in order to send even more. But most of the time I have a list of what we like to include. So most of the time it's going to be some kind of self-care item, hygiene product to kind of uplift, uplift them in that way. And then also, I believe in the power of faith, hope, and love. So the faith component may be a devotional or another kind of faith-based item. Hope, if they're especially struggling with something, I'm going to make sure to send a personalized note. Really, I personally pray over every package. Right now, we're small enough where I have made the packages, and a lot of times my friend Colleen, the secretary of the board, will come in and she'll also help, and she has also donated a ton of items as well. So we'll pray over the items, or not about the items as well, but the people. So every person can know that they're going to get a personalized letter, encouraging letter to inspire them to keep going, that there's always hope, and they're going to know that we prayed over them, as we're making the package for them. And love, we're going to just somehow to make sure we're sending love and, whatever that may be, that loving act of giving them the care package. Hopefully some of the items inspire them to love themselves and love others. I think that's a big part of our message too.
Thank you. So people can find you at www.graceandlove.org. Anywhere else they should be looking?
Graceandlove.org is our main website, and we're also on TikTok and also Instagram.
Thank you. And I'm so grateful that you came. And as you were speaking, I had like tingles a few times, because I do feel that when you are praying over something and sending positive energy, it's not something that you can like directly measure, but I do feel that over time you will feel that blessing coming back to you, although you're not necessarily looking to necessarily do that specifically, but you will find the blessing of God, the blessing of your love kind of reflecting back to you. And it's a really satisfying, fulfilling thing to be able to share that love with more people, because when you do, you're sharing joy, love, health, and you're potentially bringing more love to your family. And I think having that love in your family is so important.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential, so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.